okay, well, we could just have her sing that song for the whole time. We didn't even need to do a message. But I'm a minister.
So that's right, and that's why I come to hear you.
And I come.
And to sing.
So is it cold enough for y'all?
It is.
Yeah, definitely. Winter doesn't technically begin until the 21st, but I think we're getting a really good taste of what it can be like. With winter solstice on the 21st, and then Hanukkah begins on the night of the 24th, and Christmas, of course, is on the 25th, and Kwanzaa begins on the 26th. So we have plenty of opportunities to celebrate the light. And so our topic for the month is the living spirit, the living light. And our topic for today is calling in the light. Calling in the light. So, of course, the most ancient of celebrations was the celebration of solstice. It predated all of these other celebrations. And it celebrates the return of the sun. It celebrates that there is hope, that spring will come. It celebrates the lengthening of the days. It celebrates the light that is in all of us. Of course, solstice celebrations have been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And then, in the 4th century of the current era, they started celebrating the birth of Jesus on December 25th. It hadn't been celebrated before that on any particular day. Nobody knows when Jesus was born, but they wanted to do a couple of things. One of them was they wanted to convert the pagans to Christianity. So why not just go ahead and use a celebration that's already happening? Let's just, tag onto that one. But the other thing is, it comes from recognizing the light that this person, this teacher, this master teacher brought to the world. The incredible, incredible light. So we talk about the days being short and the light coming early and it getting really, really dark. But, I don't think we have any idea what really, really dark is. I mean, before there were artificial lights, just think about it. The only way the night could be lit was with fire. With fire. I mean, they didn't have street lights. They didn't have little night lights that we can read by. They didn't have all those Christmas lights in the mall. They couldn't even use the flashlight on their iPhone. It was dark. And so when the days got dark, people were ready for more light. Now imagine, we've got some interesting sound going on.
Yeah, we do.
It's just some radio interference.
So, okay, right. It's messages.
Probably another church.
That's right.
It's light coming in the sound of form, and with a unique message for each one of you. So open your heart. Okay, that's the way it is. No problem. But can you imagine with me just for a minute, if you lived eons ago and you were part of a tribe that was close to the equator. Your tribe had always lived near the equator. At the equator, we don't have long days and short days. It's like half and half, 12 and 12. And so imagine then that your tribe, for some reason, I don't actually remember why, your tribe decided to move, and they moved way north. And then it started getting cold. And then the days started getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so the wise ones of the tribe gathered together and they said, we have to do something about it. We have to do something to please the gods so that the light will return. So maybe they tried fasting. If we fast, the light will return. That didn't work. Maybe they tried singing. I bet they tried several things. And then they lit these big bonfires, great fires, and they danced around the fire, pleading with the gods to send the light. They did this for days. And then the sun started to stand still. The days didn't get any shorter, and then they started getting longer. Can you imagine the celebration? Can you imagine what that was like? And so they feasted and they gave thanks. And then the next year, the days started getting shorter. And so after a while, they built that big bonfire again. They started doing their dances, and once again, the days started getting longer. And you know, they came to believe that in order to have the days get longer, in order to have the light return, they needed to do the bonfire thing. They needed to do the big celebration in advance, in a sense, is what it was. And then the light returned. I think that may be kind of how the solstice celebrations began. In those ancient solstice rites, the people believed that they had to call in the light, that they had to make sacrifices, that they had to do certain things, or the light wouldn't come back. They would be stuck in the dark forever. Now, in some societies, in some cultures, they even believed that they had to sacrifice their children. I mean, the things that people did so that the light would come, so that the spring would come, so that things would go on without being stuck in the darkness. But you know, we know that the light was going to come anyway. We know that even if we don't do rituals and all of the stuff that we might want to do, that the days are going to start getting longer. We are not going to be stuck in the darkness. Nothing can eradicate the light. And that same thing is true of the light within us. There is nothing that can destroy it. There is nothing that can eradicate it. It is here. It is here in our planet. It is here as, I think, Spirit just being this light that infuses and inhabits and creates everything. And that's what we are, folks. Don Miguel Ruiz, in his book, The Four Agreements, shared this about an allegorical character's transformational realization that he is the light. One day, as he slept in a cave, he dreamed that he saw his own body sleeping. He came out of the cave on the night of the new moon. The sky was clear and he could see millions of stars. Then something happened inside of him that transformed his life forever. He looked at his hands, he felt his body, and he heard his own voice say, "I am made of light, I am made of stars." Everything is made of light, he said, and the space between isn't empty. And he knew that everything exists as one living being, and that light is the messenger of life. Light is the messenger of life because it contains all information. I am made of light. I am made of stars. I love that. You want to say it with me?
I am made of light. I am made of stars.
There is a light within you that contains all of the information you could all ever need, all of the support, all of the resources. And this is the light of the divine that is your very life. We don't have to call it in. it's already here. But as preparation for calling in the light, as preparation for opening to this light, we have an opportunity to take a little bit of time to honor the darkness that comes before the light. For there is so much richness in every part of this cycle that we call life. This is the season when animals hibernate, nature sleeps, and we can turn inward too. I sometimes think that some of the depression that can come around the holiday times is because we haven't really created space for ourselves to do that inward journey, to take the inward time that then produces amazing light. So this is the natural time of letting go and saying farewell. It's an amazing time, this time of darkness, when we can release our resentments, we can release anything we want to let go of. Feel those things first, but then we can let go of them. Let them go into the darkness, knowing that they will be transformed. For the light always comes. Darkness isn't something to be afraid of. Sometimes in those dark places where we get restored, we get rejuvenated, we get reminded of who we are. And then we can move back into the light. Because things germinate in the dark. Seeds germinate in the dark of the soil. Babies germinate, grow in the darkness of the womb. We too need that time to go inside. And so I encourage you in the next few days, these darkest days of the year, to take some time. Take some time in the dark, some time in the quiet, thinking about what you want to let go of, what no longer serves you. Maybe it'll be something that, an anger that you can write down, and then if you write it on a little piece of paper, you can burn it in a fire, releasing it into the light in a ritual way. Perhaps you'll be called to something that you can do or something that you can contemplate that will allow you to forgive some event or some person in your past. That can be so powerful as a way to free you as well as that other person. So what's germinating and growing in you? What wants to come alive? What wants to be birthed? We get the opportunity to release what no longer serves us, and to let the light in and let the light out. So what is this light I'm talking about anyway? We speak of a light in spiritual circles. We talk about how sometimes when we talk in prayer or about prayer, we're talking about holding someone in the light. We're sending them the light, seeing them in the light. We also talk about seeing the light in each other. Here's what Joanne Blum said in the December 2011 issue of the Science of Mind magazine, a great resource. And if you don't have any, there are some outside there. They have daily readings in them, and they're powerful, and some great articles. Joanne Blum said, what we were talking about, I suppose, is a higher self that dwells in us but isn't always easy to see. A self that's above personality, conditions, or history. In Christian circles, we may call it the Christ. In Hinduism, the Atman, or in Buddhism, our Buddha nature. Whatever the language, we are talking of the same thing. A higher self that knows its oneness with God presence, that inner light, as the Quakers describe it, and is able to radiate that presence to others. So as I look around, that is the light I see in you. That is the light I see in you. So look around and see it. it is in you? Do you remember that this is the light that you are made of and that you are made for? And we know that the universe is supporting us in that by making these interesting light sounds. So it's not really about calling in the light. It is here, folks. It is in each one of us. It's about remembering. It's about recalling. It's about basking in that and using it. Now, sometimes we remember our light by basking in the light of others. And of course, in our teaching, the Science of Mind and Spirit, we bask in the light and the teachings of Dr. Ernest Holmes, who looked for the light, the golden thread that runs through all teachings, knowing that there is a oneness, that there is truth that runs through every major religion. So we can bask in the light of others, but eventually we need to find and shine our own light. Find and shine our own light. Now, there's no right way or wrong way to do this, of course. The words we use aren't even necessarily so important, but what's important is our intention, our sincerity, our decision that we want to find and shine our light. We might be as simple as saying, okay, God, show me the light. Fill my path with light. Put a mirror in front of me so that I can see my own light. Or we can declare, I walk in peace and love because I walk in the light. I am the light. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that what we contemplate, we become. So as we contemplate the light within us and around us, we become more attuned to it. It's like we magnetize it. As we pull it in, we share it in so many ways. So we use our attention and we practice, practice, practice. What is it we do? We practice, practice, practice. Okay, you got it, you got it. So how is it that you can bring more of your light into the people's lives around you? How can you share that? It's different for each of us, but we have each come here to share our light. And of course, our spiritual practices, the practices of meditation, the practices of prayer, the practice of using affirmations, those are things that help us to stay in that place of knowing that we are light. Here's what Ernest Holmes had to say. Very frequently, I sit alone for 2 hours and listen to the silence, and it speaks. And I look into the darkness, and it turns light. It is there, and there is no question about it. God is warmth, Spirit is colorful, and the universe is filled with light. And so we can simply remember that the light is within us. We can remember that it's ours to use. And we can take advantage of the wonderful reminders that we have around us. Of course, in the next couple of weeks, we have all of the lights of Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and anything else that anybody is celebrating and putting up lights for. And we can, each time we see those lights, take a moment and remember that that is a reflection of the light that is within us. That we can shine just as brightly as all of those lights. And another thing that happens in holiday time is, and I don't see it very much today because it's kind of cold and we needed to bundle up, but a lot of people wear sparkly things and bling. You know, have you thought that when you look at somebody who's got their bling on, you can just use that as a reminder of your light and of their light and of the light in everything you see? I'll use anything for reminders, you know, because I just love to remember that stuff. So If you show up in bling next week, know what I'll be thinking. So we are healed by the light of love, guided by the light of wisdom, and blessed by the light of grace. So what do you say? You ready to shine your light?
Yes.
Yeah? If so, repeat after me. I am made of light.
I am made of light.
I am made of stars.
I am made of stars.
I am here to shine.
I am here to shine.
And so it is.
And so it is.
As practitioners stand with me in high consciousness, let's just move into freedom. And so here we are in the light as the light for the light. We have all been brought here this morning to experience our light. That's the very basis of who we are. And so what I claim is that as we go forth as beings of light, as beings of the divine, our path is filled with reminders of our own light. We are guided and directed in ways that show us how to share our light, that show us how to share all that we are. And so what I know is that as we go forth, there is light, there is joy, there is blessing for us as individuals, as our amazing spiritual community, as our larger community, as the world, knowing that the light of this season blesses all. And so it is.